Hey everyone, welcome back to musicwithryan.com. For today's blog post, I'm going to give you, in free mini lesson, I'm going to give you some tips and ideas about using the capo and maybe when to use it and why we use it and what it can do. Some people think, if you got your capo right here, so they come in all different shapes and sizes. You might have a different one, but from teaching lessons, I got a bunch of these hanging around in the studio. So, people ask me, why should I use the capo? Well, there's some simple reasons, and then there's some more a little bit in-depth reasons why you might want to use the capo. The biggest reason I see people use the capo, or why I use it, or anybody, is to transpose songs and to find a different key that matches our vocal, okay? That's good for whatever key we sing in. And that's one of the biggest reasons we use the capo. Another reason is texture. Capoing up creates a way different texture when you're playing, okay? And you'll see what I mean here in a sec. So let's check it out here a bit. So let's take the song, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, in the key, maybe I'm going to play it in G, down here, and it's a good key for me, actually. Will the circle be unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. Alright, so it's a decent key, and say someone wants to play this song in the key of A or B flat or B because their vocal range is different, but you don't have the bar chords down, or it just, that kind of style of music, bluegrass country, doesn't sound as good playing bar chords. It's kind of meant for open shapes. So I take my capo and I move it to an appropriate fret that will match the key and the shapes I want to use. Again, I'm going to transpose. And I guess I kind of didn't mention there at the start that another big reason I use my capo is to keep the same shapes. Now we're going to start calling them shapes, all right? So if I'm in my G shape and I want to play in the key of, let's just say A, well, we capo on the second fret. My capo, make sure it's on there straight, about right up to the fret marker there. Now when I play G, just a little out of tune, but now when I play G, I have an A chord. I'm sounding an A chord. The bass is playing A piano would play A, so forth. But I'm playing my G shape, okay? And as you notice right away, it has a little different texture already. It kind of sounds a little more high-pitched. And sometimes I'll retune after I capo as well. But, so how do I know that's an A chord? Well, there's a little bit of theory behind that, and I'm gonna brush over it real quick. But you can do two things. You can memorize it, be like, okay, when I capo on the second fret and play a G chord, it's actually sounding an A chord, okay? That's one way to start. And if my C shape is now a D chord, and my D shape is now an E chord, okay? Will the circle be unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. Okay, and that's a good key for me too. So say someone wants to play in B flat. Well, I can take my capo up one fret. Boom. Now when I play G, will the circle be unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. I'm in B flat. A lot of bluegrassers trying to get that high lonesome sound, like straight ahead traditional bluegrass, like to play in B, okay, in the key of B. And playing in the key of B with a bar chord doesn't sound quite the same as playing with my open chord or my first position chord. So now when I play G, capo 4, I'm sounding a B. When I play C, I'm sounding an E, and when I play D, I'm sounding a F sharp, actually. So I know it gets a little complicated transposing. If you've never done that, it takes a minute. You have to sit down and think, and maybe even write some things out, But I just know now, when I'm capo 4, what those chords are and where I'm at. Some people will even capo up to they capo on the 5th fret, and now that's a C chord. And maybe they like the way that sounds, so that kind of, I'll get into how to transpose a little bit here in a sec, but just get into the tonality of the chords. So now you hear I'm playing a C here. This is the regular old C. This is an F, C, G chord. Okay. Again, these are shapes: G shape, C shape, D shape. But it sounds, isn't that just the tonality? It almost sounds like, kind of getting like a ukulele or mandolin. I mean, just in general, just that high pitched, that crisper sound, a little brighter, a little. Will circle be unbroken, bye bye, Lord, bye bye. I could go down here. Will circle be unbroken, bye bye, Lord, bye bye. And it sounds fine. I mean, it's still in the same key, but the tonality of the chord. And maybe you don't like your F chord. Maybe you don't like to play F. You can still play in your G shape, and it sounds way different up here. Okay. So, how do we tell? Okay, how we're transposing? Well, that's a little trickier, and you might have to. I'm gonna have to make you think here for a sec. But if you know the names of your strings, which I hope you do, that's an E, right? Okay. Well, if I capo up, this becomes an F note, F sharp note, G note. Okay, so I'm moving the pitch of the upward. So if I'm capo 2, and now I'm playing G, well, this is my root note right here on the E string. So I got to figure out what note that is. It'll tell me what chord I'm playing. Well, I know I'm on the 5th fret. I know that's an A note, so A chord. I just know that E, F, G, A. And when I capo 2, my G shape sits right there. 5th fret. Okay. Again, if I capo up one more, now I'm on the 6th fret of the low E, and it's a B flat now. It's a B, sounding a B flat note there on the E string in the 6th fret. So that, B flat. If I'm working out of my D shape, I know that I really like playing out of my D shape capoed up. It sounds really nice. So if I'm capoed on the 3rd fret, I know this is an F. Well, how do I know that? Well, that D string is open, and when I'm capoed on the 3rd fret, when I pluck it, it's sounding an F. D, E, F. So I put the capo on, sounding an F. There in the key of F, as opposed to like if that was an F, I play my bar chord down there, which sounds, again, it sounds fine, but maybe you want that different texture, you want that tonality, you want that higher sound, and you want to do certain moves. Maybe you have certain licks. Like I couldn't do that. Do that in a closed position F shape down here. I couldn't do all those moves and get those licks and use my open strings in F, without capoing. Maybe I want to play F right up here, capo 5, playing my C chord. That sounds really nice. Maybe fingerstyle or something. Freight train or something like that. You capo up and all of a sudden it sounds like just different, right? The tonality, the texture, the timbre is all different. And I'll come down here, I play my C, lower resonance, just sounds different. So again, some people think it's a cheater. I think it's a tool. Okay, that's what I hope you watch long enough to get into that. I think it's a tool to use your capo. How do you want to use it? What shapes do you want to play out of? What keys do you need to play out of? Okay? All right, so that's a little briefing on the capo, when and how to use it and why we use it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Write a comment on the post or the YouTube page, and thanks for watching.